now. So there, it's recording now. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. And everybody go ahead and mute theirself, and I'm going to mute myself when Miss starts talking. But everybody knows Miss, I'm sure by now. And I have always looked up to her, though I don't think she knew that until the other day, because I was like, I've always looked up to you. And anyways, she is killing her business. She does this full-time now. She stays home and does this full-time, and she is Meg Lewinsky's coach, or however you pronounce her last name now. So this girl she knows what she's doing, and she's like a legend in our team. Like, I always hear Jamie talk about Missa. And so when she asked me to be her success partner, I about died. I was like, oh my gosh, it was so awesome. I had to brag about it to everybody. But anyways, she's going to talk a little bit tonight about what she's doing, and I really appreciate her being on.
Oh my God, Brandy, you are so cute, because all those things that you said, like, I came to you to be your success partner because seriously, you guys, like, your coach, your leader is killing it. And I met her at Summit next to the pool in Vegas, and I'm walking by and I see Jamie and Carolyn, and I took a picture with them, and I remember seeing you, but then we didn't ever really connected until this past Success Club trip. But I had watched her or seen her on my timeline for a while. So that's why when I knew I would see her in Cancun, I was, her energy, you guys have such an amazing leader. And I know she's,
thank you.
Well, you're working so hard towards 5-star, and I know you guys as a team are working so hard for that. To be an elite team is super awesome. And I mean, you're saying all these great things about me, but I'm still working to build an elite team myself, and you guys have a leader here who's like killing it and is so motivating. And I'm like, wow, plus your pictures are always so hot, and you look so great in all your photos with the kids in the background. I'm like, yeah, that's so cute. But I'm just going to talk a little bit tonight about, I'll introduce myself. I've been a coach since 2011, and it's crazy. I signed up because I was already using Beachbody workouts, and I would be that person fast forwarding through the stuff because I didn't want to hear about anything else. I just wanted to work out and get my sweat on. I have lost over 100 pounds using in-home fitness. So I'm a huge, huge, huge believer in in-home fitness and what we do as coaches. But when I came onto this opportunity, I was going to school full-time and working full-time, actually for Fortune 500 company. I was working for Penske Truck Leasing. That's the big yellow trucks. They're all over nationwide, international. And I was working my way into a management position there, which had always been my big thing. That's what we all want to work for, right? Is this management position or supervisor, or you want to get that lead role in your position. So I was working really hard to get my bachelor's so I could be promotable in my corporate job. But fitness was something that was ingrained in me. So I, was doing my challenge groups. I was, from day one engaged in my first challenge group as a challenger. I was engaged. I needed it. I was 40 pounds overweight at the time. I had regained 40 pounds of the 100 I had lost. And anyone who's lost a lot of weight knows maintaining super hard. So when I found this opportunity, I really had no plans in making this my full-time gig. I had way other plans. But as I started working the business, first part-time, one thing I always struggled with was the time management part of it. I would be I'm getting feedback. Are you guys hearing that at all, or is it just me? No? We're good? Okay. Just want to make sure my audio is not echoing and annoying everybody. So anyway, I just got myself off my train of thought there. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Getting into the corporate thing. This was not going to be my full-time gig. And what was happening was I was starting to see my income. So I was doing challenge groups every month, and I was focusing on Success Club 5 at least. Plus, I loved doing challenge groups. I really enjoyed it, and just it's what kept me on track. It's what kept me accountable to my workouts. So I was making sure I was doing challenge groups. I was doing What is Coaching calls. That was before the 5-day sneak peeks were really hot. It was, you do a call. You get people to dial in on a line, and we would do a call. You guys remember the conference calls? Does anyone remember that? I don't know. Feels like it's old school now, but I would do these calls. But imagine working full time, going to school, trying to figure everything out. So I'm going to go over, trying to figure out, if you're parents too, or you're a mom or whatever, like trying to fit this in is crazy. That's why I say, Brandy, you are an amazing leader and for that, for your team. And I remember we had a chat the other day, and I told her what I was doing. She's like, oh my God, will you share this with my team tonight or on your call? So it's really kind of simple, but it works so well. We always talk about the power hour. I am so ADD that I can't focus on one thing for like an hour. I would be all over the place. Next thing you know, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I didn't get any of that stuff done. Now I do this full time. So you might think of this as like, oh my gosh, like that doesn't apply to me because she obviously has all this time to break her schedule up like this. And I have to try to fit this in working all day and then having my kids at night or whatever. I hear that too, Caroline. It's like feedback, like someone's not muted. Sorry, it knocks me off my train of thought. I'm like, what is that noise? Let's just make sure everyone's muted. I can't mute anybody because I don't think I'm like an admin or
Brandy,
something.
you have to do it.
Oh, I do have to mute. Well, I think it looks like everybody's muted is the thing.
No, Debbie's not. And
Okay, how do I mute Debbie? Do I go to audio?
Okay, she's muted now.
Okay, awesome.
Now she's not again.
Oh, okay.
Weird.
Micah's not
She's
muted.
muted. Who isn't? Okay, Micah's not muted either. Okay. Audio. There we go. Oops.
Does that work?
Can you mute from there? Yeah, I think so. Is everybody muted now?
I don't hear any feedback, but it's usually when I'm like talking that it echoes. So we're good. We'll keep going. So anyway, guys, here's what I'm going to do. Here's pretty much what I do. I break my day up into 45-minute sections. I follow the Power of Threes. So I print out the Power of Three PDF. I don't know if you guys have that in your team, but we went through it if you went through the 21-day Smart Start training. I'm about to start another one of those. So if anybody wants to jump in, it's not going to be like a huge one like we just did, but I run one of those every month with my team, and it goes over the Power of Threes, challenge groups, and all that, because really how I built my business was just making sure I was running challenge groups every month. That's what it was. But, obviously we have to meet new people. We have to invite those people. So I was a huge fan of the business activity tracker, even though I fought it for like a year after it came out. Finally, when I buckled down and start using it, you guys could look that up and see if that's something you would want to track with, but it's a lot more detailed than the Power of Threes. But I use the Power of Threes. My first 45-minute segment is when I find my new contacts. Sorry, I'm drinking seltzer water, so I might burp every now and again. But so I run a like page. And if you run a like page and you run ads or you pay for likes, this might be going over your head right now, but some of you might be at that point where you have new likes coming in page. I run an ad on my like page, $2.50 a day, where I get new likes. So for the first 45 minutes of my day, I make sure I message about 5 or 10 people who like my page. And I send them a very basic message and say, hey, thanks for liking my page. I really appreciate your support. Are you into health and fitness too? And I'll send that out, and I write those names down of those are my new contacts. Then I'm a part of some groups on Facebook. I'm going through a divorce, so I had really found a lot of cool people through divorce type groups. Also, I have Cocker Spaniels, so I'm part of a few dog communities. I'm a fur mom. I also dipped my toe in the paleo pond for a little bit and became a part of a couple paleo groups. And I also have adrenal fatigue and have been seeing a specialist for that. And I have hypothyroidism. So I have really tried to connect with people in those other areas. So I joined Facebook groups, and I go in there and I'll post information or I'll post a picture, and then I go to those posts and I'll see who likes the picture and I'll friend them. Or I'll see if someone comments and I reach out to them. And these are all new people. You might be a part of yard sale groups. I have had coaches who have success with posting about 5-day clean eating, free clean eating groups in these type of groups, and meeting tons of local people that you can go in and friend them if you're feeling comfortable with that. If you're a new mom or whatever you're going through, I have really found connecting with people in these groups. Now, I am serious about building my business, so I have my page, like I friend people on my personal page. There's no like quims about me hiding any of that. If you follow me, you probably see I'm pretty honest about stuff on my page, and I get such a good response. Like people love that. So, you know, if you're going into these groups and being real, not trying to be a salesperson, I don't go in there and spam. I literally just will post something motivational or post something helpful or post a recipe or a picture of what I ate, and people will like it. And then I go and I'm like, okay, this person, I'm going to friend her, I'm going to friend her, I'm going to friend her. And then I'll make sure if these people are accepting, you know, I write them down. That's my new friend for the day. And if you're doing the power of threes, you could just do 3 people. I mean, I usually do more than that. So that's your first 45 minutes. You know, you can go to your like page. If you post pictures on your like page, if you're just doing it on your personal page, if you don't have a like page and you're not in any groups and you're like, how do I find people? I want you to go to your friends list and start friending people who are mutual friends of your friends. That's how I started off. Like people who might know you or other inner circles, that's where you can start. But if you know, you have to kind of get out of that comfort zone. If you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that, get over yourself. Like seriously, if you want to build a business, you got to go for that and just do it. I just remember having like not a care in the world. I'm just like, I just want to like meet people. I just want to talk to people. I was so passionate and excited that I didn't really stop and really think about what people were going to think about me. Have I lost friends when I started to become a coach? Yes, I'll be honest. I had lost really close friends who thought I was like crazy. But anyway, not to go off on that tangent, but I don't want you guys to be scared of doing this first part, going out there and finding new people. And the reason why it's my first thing of the day, because once I get it done, I'm like, okay, that's the crappiest part and it's done. Like not crappiest part, but it's like the part that gives me anxiety too. So if I get it done over my coffee in the morning after I did my personal development, boom. Okay. So then my second 45, I give myself 15 minutes. Now I set a clock, so my phone will go off on an alarm. So then I get 15 minutes, whatever I want to do, walk my dogs, like, you know, just take 15. Sometimes it's like 20 minutes. Sometimes it's a little bit shorter, whatever. But I'll then sit down, 45 minutes, my next segment, I guess you can call it. I get into my challenge groups, into my team page, into my training groups. So I go in and I address every post and picture in my challenge group. I make sure I check into my challenge groups at least once a day. And, you know, I really try to comment on every single post. And I've really been focusing on getting diligent with that. And this makes it so much easier. When you have a 45-minute span of time where that's all you're going to do, you feel so much better that it's just done. So I'll start in my team page. I'll post something motivational in there, post something about a training. I'll go to my challenge groups. Usually I'll have 2 groups, like a free clean eating. I'll have them overlapping. So I'll usually have 2 challenge groups or groups going that I'll have to check into. And I always usually have at least 1 training going or a coaching sneak peek or something. So that takes about 45 minutes for me. Sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit less. If it was a quiet night in all aspects, sometimes I can get through that. If I get through something and I still have like 15 minutes left, I'll go back to the thing that I was doing before. Like I'll go back to you know, finding more people. Like I'll go back into groups and start adding again. I won't move forward. I'll just go backwards. I don't know why I do that, but that's what I do. Because I think a lot of the times is I don't get through my challenge group stuff, and I'll always find myself going back to that or checking in later during the day. So anyway, take 15 minutes. Usually this is lunch. Sometimes I'll just do my workout. You know, I'll do my first 45 minutes. That's like 2 hours. I've had my breakfast, my coffee, my personal development's done. I've invited my, you know, I got my new contacts for the day. I've checked into all my groups. I've checked in with my team. We're good. You know what I mean? At 45-minute sessions, I'm feeling good. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get my workout in. So it's not exactly 15 minutes, but I'm trying to give you guys like an idea of how you could use these blocks of time. So I'll do my workout, and then I'll come back. If I don't do my workout, I'll just take another 15-minute break and get up, walk around. Take these breaks. Like, don't just plow through it. You will burn out. You need to get up. That's the cool thing about this, is if you get to do this full time, we can get up and like, I mean, I sometimes take like a, you know, like I want to get my nails done. I'll come back and I can do my 2 other 45-minute brackets at night if I wanted to. Like, that's the cool thing about this, is as you get more freedom, you can kind of space it apart how you want. So, but this is the order I do them in. You don't just say, okay, well, I'm going to do this 45-minute like here and this one over here. This is the order that works the best. So my third 45-minute segment, I do a project. So that's team recognition. Your calendar, are you working on your calendar for the month? Are you going to make a few pictures to use throughout the week? You know, that takes time, making those collages, or planning your posts for the next couple of days. Do you want to find a recipe that you want to use maybe for Tuesday, Tasty Tuesday, or do you want to have a transformation picture for Thursday? Like, you can take 45 minutes and pre-plan some of these things, so you're not always feeling like you're doing it on the fly or you're squeezing it in on the phone. So I do that. Or, you know, if it's a Thursday and you have 2 people going Emerald and you want to make a cool collage, that takes time. Or you want to shout out your top volume earners or Success Club earners. So team recognition projects go in there. If you have an email distribution list, or you want to send an email out to everyone on your list in Beachbody, Beachbody has your customers, that could be something, a part of your project, like that, your project time. You want to send out something about the special of the month. That's when I connect and do that kind of thing, you know, like the artsy creative stuff that I really like to do. But I used to like let that take up all of my time, and then I would not invite, and I wouldn't be adding. I would just be doing all these little projects and like cool themed pictures, like making, like everything was taking me so much time that if I finally just took 45 minutes and made 3 or 4 pictures, or made, like, gave myself an idea of what was going to come up, I wouldn't just sit down and be like, I would have the picture already in my phone. I would have made the post. I would have had a note in my phone that I just copy paste, you know, that kind of thing. So I hope that makes sense. And then I would do my last 45 minutes. Now, this is one that I usually like to do at night, because, or later in the day, because you're going to get like an inflow. If you're working during the day, it's going to be, I notice it's very quiet. I don't get a lot of responses, but I wake up to a lot of stuff. I try to finish my work hours, you know, by like 9, like this time. I'm usually trying to be done, because I work all day. So you have to figure out what's working for you. If you work all night, then, or, you know, into the night, you know, just figure out how you can work this out. But my last 45 minutes is usually at night. I'll do a sweep through my challenge groups, check my inbox, maybe look at my notifications. I found out I had a huge problem with notifications. I really don't even look at them anymore, because I would get sucked in, and then I would go here, and then I'm like, oh, this, then I would go over here. And like every time you hit a notification, it takes you off somewhere else. So I would stay away from there. But, you know, at the last 45 minutes at the end of the day, it gives you a nice overview of how many people liked your stuff that you posted all day, what's going on, is there any comments going on your pictures. I like to kind of see the chatter and what's up. Answer any emails, especially from my coaches or from challengers or customers. Check my email, because I do challenge posts where I say leave your email, and I send actual email. I try to take some of it off of Facebook so it's not all in that Facebook inbox. It's crazy. So, you know, I'll go through my email. and, you know, give some motivation to my challengers, because a lot of them are checking in at night after dinner with their workouts. So if I'm on at night, I can kind of sweep through, give some high fives, check in, and do that. So I'm going to call that like my closeout. My closeout 45 minutes. But, you know, if you guys don't have 45 minutes, you could do like 15 minutes. You could say, okay, for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to find all my new contacts, take a 5-minute break. For the next 15 minutes, I'm going to get in my groups, take a 5-minute break. 15 more minutes, I'm going to work on making that picture for my new emerald. I'm going to make a video that I'm going to post tomorrow on my page. You know, you take 15 minutes and then say, okay, before I log off, I'm just going to double check everything, cross my T's, dot my I's, and then boom. If you only have like an hour, that's what you could do. You could break all this down, but I work full-time coach. So this is how I set up my day. So I hope that, I know I didn't really talk that long, but do you guys have any questions?
I love it. If you don't care to take some questions, that would be awesome.
Yeah, sure.
Like you did. That's awesome. I love it.
Good.
I have a question.
Cool.
When you're messaging your people that have liked your page,
Yeah.
do you get a big response? Also do you pay the $1 to make sure it goes to the inbox?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have a budget for my like page. If you guys go to my page, you'll see I have like 26,000 followers. I have given myself a budget to grow my business and to invest into my like page. So I message 5 people a day, and I do pay the $1. And I pay $2.50 a day for my like page that runs an ad. So $7.50 a day I invest into my business to reach out to people and to run an ad to get new people. So if you can't keep up with, like, if you're running an ad and you're getting likes and you can't keep up, minimize it down so you can handle it. You don't want to be paying for all these people to come like your page if you can't keep up with it. I was doing that. Like, I was just paying to get these likes, and I couldn't message 100 people a day. Like, I mean, I guess I could, but I wasn't. And I just overwhelmed myself by building the page so fast. So don't think you have to like pay and build crazy quick, because you want to keep up with that. Because if you send them without paying the $1, they don't go to their inbox all the time. They don't see them. But that's why I just started friending people. I heard on a call the other day that if you have not been in Facebook jail at least one time, who said this? Was this you, Brandy?
Jeffrey Armbruster.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a new coach, I got in like Facebook jail like every other month. It got to the point where I was like not able to friend people for 30 days. I haven't gotten that in a long time, so that shows I'm probably slacking. But I've really upped the ante and like friending people, because if they accept your friend request, then anything you send them, they will see, versus having to pay that $1. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Sure. Anybody else? Quiet bunch.
I have a question.
Sure.
If you could go back to your days when you were working full-time and going to school full-time and building your business at the same time, you talk a little bit about your schedule then, and maybe were you ever in a situation where you just really had every minute of each day scheduled out, and in order to do X, you had to cut something, and what would you cut? A lot of questions, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's good. I just have to kind of like think about it. Okay, so I worked my business mobile a lot. So my cell phone, if you open my notes, I have notes for things that I would talk to people about that I would copy and paste there. And when I was having conversations with people, I would go to my notes and be like, okay, this person wants to know about Shakeology. This person wants to know about my challenge group. This person, I'm sending new messages. I would just copy and then like boom, boom, boom. and then copy, and then boom, boom, boom. Like, I kept them easy, accessible, and I did work. Like, I would be working and I would totally rock the phone. And I know you shouldn't, but I was just like, I was into it. I mean, that was something I did. I mean, I would do calls on my lunch break. You know, I would do that. I would go home on my lunch so I could do, like, check things and get in my back office, or I actually like to make meetings with people. I'll say, hey, can you meet online to register for my challenge group tomorrow at 12? Are you going to be available? I can walk you through the process. So versus you being on the fly, like waiting for people to come around, I would say, well, I can meet you online tomorrow if that's okay, and we can walk through the process together. You know, now of course if they're coming to you saying, hey, I'm ready now, but we know that's not always the case. Like, so I would set meetings during times where I knew I had a spare minute. I'll be honest, there was times that I was at school and I would step out to get on team calls because I just was so, like, I have such a huge belief in it. So I think it really depends on your belief with what you decide to cut. I was at the end of my, like, schooling. I was just like, come on already. Like, the classes I was taking, you know, you can decide if it's something that you're willing to miss. I also got rid of a lot of toxic friends and changed a lot of the things that I was doing. So I had mentioned I lost friends, but I read Chalene Johnson's book, Push, and that really helped me figure out, you know, what my goals were, what my priorities were, what kind of people I wanted to surround myself with. And I made changes with the guidance of that book. It's an intense book, but it's great personal development. So, I mean, I would recommend checking that book out if you're having a hard time figuring out how to fit everything. And it helps you identify your what your, like, main, I can't think of the word right now, but it's like what your main purposes are. Like, what would you not give up at all? So now, you know, I can make my own schedule, so I don't really have to give up anything. Like, you'll get to a point, you work so hard and you have to sacrifice things, but then you get to a point where you're like, well, I can do whatever I want. Like I said to you guys, I could go get my nails done in the middle of the day. Like, so it's worth it if your belief is strong enough for it. And when I was working full time and going to school, I really worked a lot at night. I would come home and work till 11, 12, 1 in the morning, and then get up and go to work, and then go to school at night. Weekends I would work. So I know it sounds like, oh my gosh, but
no, there's one thing that has to go. It just can't go yet. That would be my full-time job.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I was there. I was like the slowest tiptoeer out of my job. Literally, I was part-time for a year, and then went even more part-time for like 6 more months. And then finally I was like, okay, I'm just going to go. Like, I was so scared to do it, but it's okay. And you make adjustments, you know, and you pleasantly surprise yourself when the pressure's on. So.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a question. You can't see me, but
Okay.
I'm just starting back up with the business again, and I'm basically building relationships with people right now, unless people are coming to me saying that they want to be in a challenge group or whatnot. I guess my question is, like, how long should I, you know, keep the relationship growing or whatever before I, like, introduce them? Because I don't want to be like, oh, hey, I'm running a challenge group too soon, and then be, you know, they run away. So
yeah, I mean, I think it depends on how your conversation starts with the person. Are you just like, are you reaching out to these people, or are you like saying, like, commenting when they like your picture or something like that?
A lot of it is I've just been basically going through my friends list, reconnecting with old friends, and then if I see something on their page like we have in common, like my friend, she's really into horses, so it's like I'll start conversations out by, you know, talking about our horses or whatever, and then I just don't know how to like direct it to see like if she would be interested in something like that.
Well, one thing I always used to do when I would message people based on, you know, a hobby that had nothing to do with my challenge group, I think right now is a good time to use this when it's summer, is, you know, obviously whatever it is your hobby is that you're talking to them about or you approach them about, I would always say, so, you know, I would bring up, so what are you guys doing this summer? Are you going on vacation or anything? Because that's like a very natural question to go into. Like if you're talking about horses, you could say, you know, it's been really good catching up. I'm curious, are you guys going on a vacation or doing anything fun this summer? I mean, it's like a natural question. And people will be like, oh, yeah, actually, I'm going, or staying, you know, I would find that out and be like, and I would be vulnerable and say, I am like so nervous about getting into a swimsuit. I've actually been doing this workout. And they'll be like, you know what, I actually see you posting about that. You'll be surprised how many people bring it up first. And I'm just like, yeah, I am. I'm actually doing this workout, you know, because I'm really scared about going on this trip. Because they'll say, are you going anywhere? I'm like, oh my God, I'm so scared I'm going on this trip. And I haven't been paying attention to my nutrition very well. So I've been really honing in. And I'm actually like, you know, working with people to keep me accountable because I suck at it. Like I'll be vulnerable and I'll say something very honest. And people will be like, you know what, me too. And I'm like, well, do you want to be a part of it? Like, do you want to join in? You know, if you're too scared to kind of say something about a challenge group, clean eating groups are like really natural, or accountability groups are really natural to kind of bring up in a way where, you know, oh, I've tried that workout, you know, or I see that you posted about that. And then I'll go into something like, well, have you tried it? Have you ever worked, like, have you ever did it in home fitness? I go into it, like once I get that door, I kind of just keep going. It's really our own fear, I think, that holds us back because we're afraid like that they think we're going to be weird because we bring it up. But I think right now asking them, you know, are you going on any trips or going away this summer? What are you guys up to this summer? What's the family doing this summer? Really opens up that door for you to let them know, well, yeah, I'm working on my fitness and, you know, trying to feel great for my trip. Because usually people do come back and ask you, you know, what are you doing? You know, so try that and see if that works.
Jamie said something pretty cool. She said when she, you know how a conversation can go and go, and she said, I will stop and say, okay, I got to go work out now. Time for my workout.
Yes.
And it's like, boom. Then they just have that, you just have thrown that little bit of dash of what you're doing without saying too much. Like, okay, it's okay talking to you, have to work out now.
And then come back later and be like, sorry for running off. I wanted to ask
Wheels
you.
are
What you
turning.
guys doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure. I think we have like 1 minute.
We have less than a minute left.
Less than a minute.
I appreciate you getting on here, Missa.
I had so much fun.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Missa.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Hope everybody has a good night. Thanks for being on. Oh, there's Eric. Where's Bobby at? He'll want to say hi.
Bobby!
He's in the house taking care of the baby.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Tell him we said hi.
I will. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Missa. Let me stop recording.